After 60, life changes in quiet but powerful ways. The pace slows. Our days feel more our own. We begin to notice the small things: sunlight in the kitchen, a grandchild's laughter, the comfort of stillness. We are not building towards something anymore. We are living it. And because of that, how we spend our time, our energy, our money matters more than ever. But some old habits follow us into this season. Habits that used to help us, but now quietly hold us back. Today, I want to talk with you, not to criticize, but to invite a gentle reflection. To ask, does this still serve me? Because sometimes letting go of a habit is the first step toward a lighter, freer life. So, if you're ready, let's begin. Number 1. Technology upgrades. You don't actually need. Every year, there's a new phone, a new tablet, or some smart device promising to change your life. It sounds exciting. They say it's faster, lighter, easier to use. But here's the question I ask my patients, and sometimes myself. Do you really need it? Let me tell you about Ruth. She's 72 and lives in Oregon. Always independent, always sharp with technology. So when a brand new phone came out with a sleek camera and fancy features, she thought, why not? She spent over $1,000 on it. But once it arrived, she felt overwhelmed. The buttons had changed. The menus were different. She missed calls and couldn't figure out why. All she really wanted was to FaceTime her daughter and see photos of her great-grandbaby. That's when she realized her old phone could already do everything she needed. And more importantly, it didn't stress her out. So Ruth returned the new phone and went back to what worked. She said she felt a wave of relief, like she'd taken her life back. Technology should make life easier, not more confusing. If your current device works well, holds a charge, and helps you stay connected with the people you love, then let that be enough. You're not falling behind. You're choosing peace. That's a wise trade. So before you upgrade, pause and ask yourself, what do I really need this for? Often, the answer is simpler than we think. Number 2. Food delivery that replaces nourishment. There's something comforting about tapping a few buttons and having dinner show up at your door. No cooking, no dishes, no thinking. But over time, that convenience can quietly take more than it gives. Linda, 63, from California, found herself relying on delivery more and more after her husband passed away. Cooking felt lonely. So she ordered in Thai one night, burgers the next. It filled the silence for a while. A year later, at a routine checkup, her doctor pointed out a few changes: higher blood pressure, some extra weight, and more fatigue than usual. That's when Linda took a hard look at what she had been eating and how she had been feeling. She wasn't just tired from the food, she was tired from the disconnection. So she made a quiet promise to herself: 3 home-cooked meals a week, nothing fancy, just real food, prepared with care, a pot of soup, some roasted vegetables, a grilled chicken breast, meals her body remembered, meals her heart missed. And something shifted. The smell of onions on the stove, the rhythm of chopping, the small act of setting the table, even just for herself, brought a sense of purpose back. Eventually, she started inviting her neighbor over for lunch once a week, and that, more than anything, brought her spirit back to life. There's nothing wrong with delivery once in a while, but when it becomes a habit, we lose something deeper, the connection to what truly nourishes us. Food is not just fuel, it's memory, it's care, it's presence. So the next time you reach for your phone instead of the skillet, ask yourself, am I feeding my body or just filling the space? Number 3, subscription services you forgot you're paying for. It often starts with a free trial, maybe during the holidays, or one quiet night during the pandemic. A new streaming service, a fitness app, a magazine you meant to read, And then we forget. Margaret, 66, from Texas, knows this all too well. During the lockdown, she signed up for just about everything: Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, a meditation app, even an online yoga class. It felt like a small comfort, something to keep her company. Months later, she realized she was watching reruns of the same two shows, and both were available for free elsewhere. When she added up the charges, it came out to over $90 a month. That's more than $1,000 a year, for things she barely used. So she sat down with her bank statement, made a list, and started canceling. All but one. And then, something unexpected happened. She discovered that her local library offered free access to thousands of movies and documentaries through an app called Canopy. No monthly fees, no strings attached. Margaret says she now enjoys her evenings more because she's no longer overwhelmed with choices. She picks one or two things she truly enjoys and lets the rest go. Sometimes less really is more. So if you haven't looked at your subscriptions in a while, now's a good time. Ask yourself, do I still use this? Does it still bring me joy? Clearing those small charges can add up to big freedom, not just in your wallet, but in your mind. Number 4, lottery tickets that promise hope, but rarely deliver. Every week, millions of people buy a little piece of possibility. A few dollars here, a few there. Just enough to think, maybe this time. That was true for Dolores, 65, from Ohio. She wasn't trying to get rich. She just liked the idea of it. Helping her kids, paying off the house, maybe seeing the world. A little hope in her pocket. She played faithfully for 5 years. Powerball, scratch-offs, whatever had the biggest jackpot. One day, she added it all up. Over $5,000 spent, and not much to show for it, except a drawer full of losing tickets and a little quiet regret. So she made a shift. Instead of buying hope that might never come, she decided to build it. Now, every week, she puts $10 into a jar she calls Future Joy. That money has turned into real things: a pottery class at the community center, a weekend trip with friends, little gifts for her grandkids. Things that brought her laughter, presence, meaning. You see, real wealth isn't a number you're waiting to win. It's something you create, moment by moment, choice by choice. So if you're still picking numbers each week, let me gently ask, what are you really hoping for? And is there another way to bring that feeling to life without waiting for a jackpot? Because the richest moments don't come from luck. They come from living on purpose. Number 5, credit card interest that quietly steals from you. For many of us, credit cards started out as a tool, a way to handle a dinner out, an emergency repair, or a little gift for someone we love. But over time, if we're not careful, those small balances grow. And suddenly, we're not just paying for what we bought, we're paying for the interest. Month after month. Joanne, 70 years old and recently widowed, found herself in this exact spot. After her husband passed, the silence in the house was hard, so she shopped online a little more, sent gifts to her grandkids, fixed up parts of the home that reminded her too much of the past. Nothing extravagant, just small comforts. Until she sat down one day, added up her statements, and realized she had paid over $9,000 in credit card interest over 2 years. Her heart sank. That money could have gone to medical bills, house repairs, or maybe even the trip she always dreamed of taking with her sister. But Joanne didn't let guilt take over. She made a plan. She called her bank, set up a realistic payment schedule, and sold a few items she no longer needed. Most importantly, she forgave herself. Because making mistakes with money doesn't make you irresponsible, it makes you human. Debt isn't just about numbers, it's about stress. It can keep you up at night. It can make you feel trapped, ashamed, or overwhelmed. But here's the truth. You are not alone. So many older adults carry this weight silently, thinking they have to solve it all themselves. You don't. There is help. There are options. And every step forward, no matter how small, is worth celebrating. The less you owe, the lighter you feel. And the lighter you feel, the more joy you can carry. You deserve that joy. Number 6, exercise equipment that makes you feel guilty instead of strong. We often begin with the best of intentions. A birthday comes. A new year starts. We tell ourselves, this time will be different. So we buy the treadmill, the fancy bike, or that sleek machine we saw in the commercial. It feels like a fresh start, like we're finally taking control of our health. That's exactly what Nancy, 69 from Georgia, thought when she brought home a top-of-the-line elliptical machine. It looked perfect sitting in her living room. For the first 2 weeks, she used it every day. She felt proud, energized, even hopeful. But then, life got in the way. A sore knee, a busy schedule, a family visit. Slowly, the machine became quiet. And each time she passed by it, she felt something heavier than dust settle in. Guilt. She blamed herself, not for buying the machine, but for not using it, for what she believed it said about her, that she gave up, that she failed. But here's the truth. It was never about the machine. It never is. Our bodies do not need expensive equipment to be strong. What they need is movement. Gentle, joyful, regular movement that fits into real life. So Nancy did something brave. She forgave herself. She sold the elliptical to a neighbor who needed it, and instead, she joined a walking group that met at the park twice a week. Just comfortable shoes, fresh air, and women like her who wanted to move, not compete. No screens, no pressure, just simple motion and conversation. Over time, Nancy noticed something. She was sleeping better. Her mood lifted. She started to enjoy movement again, not as a chore, but as a gift. Not because she followed a strict routine, but because she found something that truly worked for her. We've been told that health comes with a price tag, that the more we spend, the more serious we are. But sometimes, the healthiest thing we can do is let go of what's not working and start where we are, with what we already have. So if you have equipment collecting dust, be gentle with yourself. You're not lazy. You're not failing. You're human. And you deserve a way of moving that brings peace, not pressure. Number 7, designer labels that no longer fit your life. There was a time when what we wore mattered deeply. The right dress, the perfect handbag, a label that said something before we ever opened our mouths. It made sense then, at the office, at family gatherings, out in the world. Dressing up helped us feel strong, capable, and seen. Helen, 68 from Pennsylvania, used to be that woman. She loved fashion. Her closet was filled with pieces from Nordstrom, Coach, even Chanel, each carefully selected, each outfit coordinated down to the earrings. She didn't just get dressed, she presented herself to the world, and for decades, it gave her confidence. But after retirement, something shifted. Her pace changed. Her days became slower, softer. She spent more time baking with her grandchildren, volunteering at the library, gardening in the early morning light. One day, standing in front of her full closet, she asked herself, "Who am I dressing for now?" That question stayed with her, because none of those quiet, beautiful moments asked her to wear a $200 blouse or high heels. They asked her to show up, to be present, to be warm, to be comfortable. So Helen changed the way she dressed. She didn't stop caring. In fact, she still takes pride in how she looks. But now, her favorite clothes are soft, breathable, easy to move in. Her favorite accessory? A genuine smile. And here's the truth many of us forget. Real elegance has never been about brands. It's not stitched into a label or hanging on a hanger. It lives in how we make others feel when they're near us, in the way we tell a story, in the light in our eyes when someone we love walks into the room. You don't need to buy anything to be beautiful. You already are. So the next time you feel the pull to purchase something just to feel a certain way, take a pause. Ask yourself, is this for comfort or for approval I no longer need? Because at this stage of life, we're not here to impress. We're here to feel light, at ease, and fully ourselves. And the most valuable thing you can wear is confidence, inside and out. Number 8. Expensive courses that promise more than they deliver. There's something deeply human about wanting to grow, to feel like we're still learning, still evolving, even after retirement. So when an ad promises to help you find your purpose, unlock happiness, or transform your life in just a few weeks, it's easy to feel drawn in, especially when life starts to feel a little quieter than it used to. Barbara, 71, from Minnesota, knows that feeling well. After retiring from a long, meaningful career in nursing, she found herself waking up to stillness. No schedules. No one needing her at 7 a.m. No structure. And in that stillness, she began to feel something many people don't talk about: lost. So when she saw an online coaching course that promised to reignite her passion, she signed up without hesitation. It was over $4,000. A big investment, but she told herself, this will be worth it. For several months, she joined group video calls, filled out worksheets, and posted in online forums. She tried to stay motivated, but deep down, something felt off. The content was fine, but nothing felt new. Nothing felt personal. And when the course ended, she sat alone at her kitchen table, looked at her notebook full of quotes and checklists, and quietly realized, I already knew most of this. That was her turning point. Barbara understood then that she didn't need someone to give her direction. What she needed was connection. Real, human, face-to-face connection. So she turned outward, to her own community. She joined a book club at her local library. She started volunteering at a women's shelter once a week. And she began mentoring a younger woman who had just lost her mother. And that was when she felt her spark return. Not because someone sold it to her, but because she gave it freely. Personal growth is a beautiful thing, but it doesn't always require a price tag. In fact, the richest growth often comes through everyday moments: sharing your story, helping someone else, listening deeply, or simply showing up where you're needed. So if you're feeling lost, remember this: you don't need to be fixed. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're simply in a new chapter. And the wisdom you're looking for? You might already carry it within you. Number 9. Brand new cars that lose value before you even enjoy them. There's something special about driving a new car off the lot. The clean scent, the smooth ride, the feeling that, just maybe, you've earned it. After decades of hard work, raising families, and managing responsibilities, it feels good to say, I deserve something new. That's what Edith, 75, from Illinois, told herself when her old sedan finally gave out. She had always driven used cars, reliable, modest, practical. But this time she thought, why not something fresh? Something just for me? So she bought a brand new SUV. It had all the features: heated seats, touch screens, extra safety alerts, even voice commands. It was beautiful, and for a little while, she enjoyed it. But then the monthly payments started to wear on her, nearly $600 each month. She found herself saying no to things she used to enjoy. No to lunch with friends, no to weekend trips, no to small treats, just to stay ahead on the car note. After 1 year, Edith checked the resale value. Her car had already dropped by over 30%. Thousands of dollars gone. And for what? A few compliments from neighbors, and a driveway that looked a little shinier. That was her wake-up call. So she made a smart, simple shift. She traded the SUV for a certified pre-owned car, just 2 years old, still under warranty, with low mileage and half the monthly cost. And with the savings, she booked something she'd always dreamed of: a train trip through the Rocky Mountains. A journey filled with mountains, fresh air, peace and memory. And you know what she said afterward? That trip brought me more joy than the car ever did. We're told, especially in this culture, that newer means better. But newer also means expensive, and often temporary. A car is not a reward for your worth. It's just a way to get from one place to another. And there are many reliable, comfortable, safe cars out there that don't require financial sacrifice. So if you're thinking about a new vehicle, pause. Ask yourself, what do I really need? Not what the commercial says, not what others might think. What you need to feel free, secure, and in control. Because the destination has always mattered more than the vehicle. One of the greatest freedoms that comes with age is the ability to step back and see life more clearly. We've been through enough to know that not everything shiny is gold, and not every expense is worth the weight it adds to our lives. What matters most now often isn't what we buy, but what we choose to keep and what we choose to let go of. And that wisdom? It grows when we slow down and listen to our habits, to our feelings, and to our own quiet knowing. If you're ready to live more simply, but not sure where to start, here are a few small practices that can lead to real, lasting change. Begin with one honest question. What do I no longer need to spend money on to feel valuable? That question alone can open doors. It might lead you to cancel a subscription you forgot. It might help you walk past the store without buying another handbag. It might even help you forgive yourself for a purchase you now regret. Let this question guide you, not with judgment, but with curiosity. Next, set a weekly money reflection time. Nothing formal. Just 15 minutes with a cup of tea and your bank statement. Highlight what felt truly worth it, and gently circle the things you didn't really need. Over time, this practice builds confidence. It replaces guilt with awareness. It helps you spend with intention instead of impulse. Another tip? Rediscover the value of small exchanges. Instead of buying a course, share what you know with someone younger. Instead of eating alone with delivery, invite a neighbor for lunch. We sometimes spend money trying to fill a space that human connection was meant to hold. And don't underestimate your community resources. Local libraries offer free classes, movie access, and book clubs. Senior centers host gatherings, walks, and workshops. And parks offer the kind of peace no screen can replicate. Lastly, talk about money. Not just with professionals, but with trusted friends. Honest conversation breaks the silence around financial worry. You might be surprised how many people are quietly carrying the same questions you have. Remember, you are not behind. You are becoming more of who you've always been. Wise, thoughtful, and strong enough to choose what truly matters now. If you've made it this far, thank you. It means you're someone who still believes in reflection, in growth, and in the quiet power of small changes. At this stage of life, it's easy to feel like we should have it all figured out. But the truth is, we're always learning, always becoming. And there's something deeply beautiful about that. Letting go of certain spending habits isn't about depriving yourself. It's about making space for peace, for freedom, and for the kind of life that feels lighter to carry. Every dollar you choose not to waste is a gift to your future self. And every habit you gently release becomes one less thing weighing on your mind. So maybe today you saw a little of yourself in Ruth or Nancy or Edith. Maybe you've been holding on to a subscription you don't use, or feeling guilty about something collecting dust in your home. If so, let me remind you, you are not alone. Not now, not ever. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to stay open. Open to change. Open to simplicity. Open to the kind of life where every choice reflects who you are, not who the world says you should be. And if this conversation spoke to something inside you, I'd love to hear it. Leave a comment below. Just a thought, a moment, or a shift you're ready to make. I read every one. And if you'd like more quiet wisdom, gentle guidance, and practical insights for this season of life, consider subscribing to Thoughtful Elders Insight. Because small changes today can create a stronger, freer tomorrow. Until next time, take good care of yourself. You are worth the effort.